Welcome to Extraterrestrial Reality. We have a very special guest with us today. It's Jessica Ortiz from Compton, California, and she is the woman whose security camera, her ring camera, actually captured what we believe is to be some sort of a non-human intelligent being that was traipsing about her property in the middle of the night on June 6th. I guess just a little couple of minutes after 1 a.m. And
Yeah.
while we're talking here, I just want to show the video real quick here so that people know what we're talking about. Oh, there it is right there. If you blink, you'll miss it.
Yeah.
And then I have a close up of it up here somewhere. And that was the gate clack. There's a close up of it right there. That's what it looks like zoomed in. And then I have a slow motion version too as well. There it is. Whatever that thing is, we don't know. We do not know.
Yeah.
Okay. And so that's what we're going to talk about. So basically, I guess before this incident happened, were you ever interested in this subject? Did you ever read about UFOs or
No.
extraterrestrials? Or
Uh-uh. Never
so
paid
this
too much attention to it, at least.
this was the first time, and all of a sudden now, I guess you're looking at life in a different way. I mean, because this really doesn't have any explanation for it, and other than it looks like it's a non-human kind of creature that just was walking around your backyard that early morning hours.
Yeah, yeah, it was really crazy. It caught us completely off guard.
So basically, what happened? Like you were up at the time when you heard something or something happened before this thing showed up.
No, no, I mean, well, so here at my house, I was in my son's room. I was talking to him. We were having a conversation, and when I started walking back to my room, I opened my phone. And I wasn't the craziest part I think is because I'm not the type of person to look at the ring videos. I'm never like paying too much. A car passes by, it's constantly going off. So I wasn't intentionally trying to look at the video. But when I opened my phone, you know how it passes right away, like right in the beginning. And so when I opened it, the video popped up, and right away I saw it, and I was like, I'm going crazy. I was even saying it out loud. I'm going crazy. I'm losing my mind. Like, what the hell am I looking at? You know? So I had my son take a look at it, and I told him, like, please, like, double check this because I'm going to lose my mind, or I'm losing my mind. And I know that I'm not seeing what I think I'm seeing. So he sat up and he looked at the video as well. And he went back like 3 times also. And, obviously, we don't think that we're seeing what we're actually seeing. I mean, even him.
And something precipitated this. From what I understand, you have an aunt who lives right next door to you, and she heard a noise about 20 minutes before this occurred.
Yeah, I didn't find that out until the next day when I started asking like the neighbors if they had anything in their cameras, or anything that had gotten caught, that we didn't catch, because that camera that we have is actually in the middle. So we have one in the driveway, facing the front. So if anybody passes by, it would have caught somebody there. So if it would have gone to the backyard, it would have caught them there too. So if only the middle camera caught it was another, weird thing about it. But so I was asking the neighbors, and I went next door with my aunt, and she tells me that about 12:45, she heard two loud bangs on the roof of her house, and she like looked, and she kind of jumped, and just kind of stopped and listened, and she said that after the second bang that there was like some scratching noises, like dragging noises that were coming from the roof. She said, I
Wow.
didn't go check because I knew that if I went to the back, I wasn't going to see anything in the backyard. It wasn't from like underneath the house. She's like, I know it was from the roof. And she's like, and she heard one more loud bang. And when she heard that third one, she said she ran to her room and she was so scared. She just started praying. She was so afraid.
And she didn't bother that night to wake you up or anything or ask you questions because I guess it was so late. It was after midnight
Yeah,
at the
yeah.
time.
Uh-huh. Yeah. So I mean, yeah, and she didn't call me, and I didn't call her even when this happened with us. I didn't call her either, obviously also because of the time. But yeah, I mean, it's crazy how she felt that fear, and about maybe half an hour, 25 minutes after she felt it, we felt it here at our home. And this is a safe area for, I mean, our block, we've been here over 20 years, and we've never felt anything like that. And what are the odds that she's gonna feel it, 25 minutes later, we're feeling the same thing, and that's not normal.
So what was your aunt's feeling on it when she saw the video? What did she think about what was there, what you
But
see?
she was amazed. Like she had it made sense to her, why she heard that sound and felt that, and then all of a sudden something's getting caught in the video. It's like, okay, well, now she doesn't feel as crazy as I did when I was looking at the video too. So it kind of validated what she felt and what I felt, what I saw.
So basically, you had a Ring camera that was in the front of the house and in the back of the house, and they didn't go off.
So we have three altogether. So it's one. You can see it in the video. One of them, it's over the front door. That one's facing the driveway. So if anything would have passed the front, like I said, it would have caught it. If anything would have gone, past the back gate to the back, it would have caught it right away. But neither one of them were triggered.
And the sound that we heard, that's the gate opening and closing.
Hmm.
Is your house and your aunt's house attached? Or is there a separation between them?
Oh yeah, there's a brick fence in between.
Like how much distance is between your house and your aunt's house? Like is it wide or is it close together?
Maybe about 20 feet.
Okay. Okay. So she heard a noise on her roof, and then 20 minutes later, so that was about a quarter to midnight, or excuse me, a quarter to one when she heard the noise and the scratching sound. And then at 1:03 a.m., that's when you have the creature that shows up on your Ring camera, but only on the one, and it doesn't pick it up on the back one or the front one. That's very strange.
That's one of the reasons why it made it even more you know um confusing as to it can't be a person, because it would have caught it for sure. It would have caught it. There's no way you can go through one camera and not get picked up by the second one or the third one.
And how long have you had Ring cameras on your house?
um oh, we've had them for maybe like around 5 years, 6 years or so.
And nothing like that's ever happened before?
Well, I've never, like I said, I don't always pay attention to the videos. I've never seen anything like that before. And this one just by chance that I caught it. But yeah, no, I've never seen anything like that
It's
at
almost
all.
as it's almost as though like this thing just showed up and then disappeared or something. That's what it seems like. It seems like it might just maybe it fell off your roof
That,
taken
that
down from your roof.
that's the only explanation that I was like, would make sense if, whatever it is was on her roof, and came from her roof to our driveway, which would explain why the first camera didn't catch it. And then probably that sound, it sounds like the gate opened, but then it cuts off. So I don't actually hear it close. I remember Scott asking me, like, oh, well, that's a very nice alien to, close the door for you. And I was like, well, that's true. So I was like, maybe that sound was it, jumping on it. But no, it sounds it opening and closing the gate sounds exactly the way it did. So I think maybe it probably jumped, over, but did open it. I remember actually hearing it open in person, like when we were here at home.
And you what did you think at that moment when you heard the gate?
Well, we do have a back house, and the neighbor in the back, they work late. Sometimes they have, different hours. So the gate opening and closing at night, it's not something uncommon. That is something we're used to. So I didn't pay too much attention to it. But when I saw the video, I ended up seeing the video about 4 minutes after it actually happened. So it was right away. And I'm very close with one of the girls that lives next in that back house. So what I did was I called her. It was 109 when I called her. So it was right away after my son checked the video, after I seen it. I called her right away and I asked her, did anybody go in and out of the house right now? Like anyone go in and out of the yard? Anyone open the gate? And she says no. And can you please double check? Like, go ask your parents just to make sure, because I caught something on the camera and it looks really weird, and I want to make sure it wasn't somebody, just that there's no one else that would have access to the house. So she went downstairs, asked her parents, and both of them were no, that they hadn't gone in. Her dad had come in maybe about 20 minutes. It was already laying down, so it couldn't have been him.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that was like, oh my god, I caught something on the camera. I'm gonna send it to you. And she's like, don't send me anything. I send it. She's like, why did you send me this? She was so scared too, and yeah, we were sitting in the room not even knowing what to do. I'm like, is it still in the backyard? Like, what do we do?
So did you consider calling the police that night?
My son, that was one of the comments that he had made when he looked at the video. he's like looking at it, and then he's like sits up and he's like, "Mom, that's an alien. Call the cops." And I'm not calling the cops on an alien, Kevin. Like, no, I'm gonna sound crazy. I'm not gonna do it. But and I didn't. I
That's the thing. A lot of people, if they like you apparently have been living your life and you never thought about this subject, and all of a sudden you learned the hard way that there's something here. I think that you've come to accept this now, that this was some sort of a non-human creature.
for sure I know it was something non-human. I know, definitely not human. But I mean, I don't know what it is. I haven't said it's an alien so far. I mean, that's not a claim that I've made. But does it look like it? Yes. Could it be a possibility? Of course. I know that we're not the only living, you know, beings here. So it's just, it has to be something just paranormal. I don't know
So
how
do you
late. I
do, do you think that now that you this has happened, now that you think that there's something here among us now, like you didn't think about this before, but now that this has happened to you, or do you and other people in your family now view this whole potential phenomena of not being alone differently than you did before?
mean, I think everyone kind of, oh, what happened? You caught something on your camera. Nobody has really like put too much thought into it. I think, and for me, I've seen things move. So I know that we're not the only. It is a very different experience. Because you can see it. And it's like proof that there's something there. So that helps. But the whole not being alone thing, I think we've always known that.
Yeah. And I guess, do you think that, that, well, for one thing, I want to point out too that the video was verified. We know that there's no question about it, that this video, there was no special effects or anything like that at it,
Yeah,
because it was examined by Scott Roeder, at the crime scene reconstruction expert, and he made that determination that there was no way that anybody, because I there was some people when I was talking about it on my show initially, some people were saying, "Oh, that's CGI and everything," and it turns out that there's no way it could have been, because you had the video sent right to your phone. There's no way you couldn't have done anything with that.
yeah, and I showed him the proof of it, like how it downloads the name, the time, everything that shows up when you download the Ring videos. I even tried to upload it to the actual Ring app, and they wouldn't allow me to do it. They have I guess a group called Neighbors or something like that, where you can kind of, inform your neighbors what's going on. And I was even like, maybe they can tell me if they've caught anything in the area that looks similar to this, but it wouldn't allow me to. And so I posted it on my Instagram, but I made sure that I didn't edit, I didn't crop, I didn't, you know, add any letters or anything like that to it, and just to make sure, that it's authentic. It's a video
Yeah.
that's it hasn't been
Yeah.
modified.
Well, when I talked to Scott Roeder, he actually, had the raw video as well as the metadata, and so there was no, so people out there who were making that claim, that's
Yeah,
impossible. There's something there, whether what it is, that's the question. And
yeah,
nobody knows. I call my show Extraterrestrial Reality. I don't know if they're coming from other planets for sure. I can't prove that. I just know because I had my own experiences, and I know that there's something here because I encountered some kind of a creature when I was a little kid. And that's what I want to ask you. Did you ever have anything before this? Was there anything ever weird in your life that you always wonder about before this incident?
yeah. That's what I was saying earlier. I mean, I've seen things move. I mean, things in my room have moved. My son has been a witness to it. I mean, just in this room alone, I have a canvas on the wall with my picture of myself and my kids, and doing my hair, like right next to the canvas, it literally flew off of the wall and landed in the middle of the room. And as crazy
Wow.
as I know, it's crazy. I just kind of stood still, and oh my, I was like, what the heck? My son's playing video games. He has his headset on, and every time I talk to him, he doesn't hear me. But that day, he heard the noise of it falling to the floor, and I stood still just so when he walked to my room, he would see that I'm nowhere near that frame, or that I didn't throw it or like come back and stand in place. He's like, "What the hell was that?" And I'm like, "That canvas just flew from the wall." He's like, "No way. I'm standing right here." And he's just like, "That's crazy." And he just kind of walked back to the room. And I mean, it's been other things like that, but and that I can actually see it and prove it and show people. No. But
So, I mean, so you had other things move up, like in your house. Like, how long ago did that incident happen?
that was probably about a year ago.
Wow.
Mhm.
And what
Yeah.
about your aunt? Did your aunt ever have any kind of other weird things other than the noise on the roof? Did she ever have something to talk about other than that?
I didn't ask her. I did not ask her, I'm sorry. Yeah,
Oh,
no,
that's okay.
she hasn't mentioned anything. I mean, she just mentioned just what had happened that night.
But that yeah, that was something that that's never happened something like that's never happened before. So something I'm just wondering what it was. Well, what do you
Yeah,
think? What
you
did
are
you come to any ideas about what might have happened that night? Did you come to any like speculation on what you think might have happened?
I'm just as confused as I was the moment I saw it. I have no clue. Like, I mean, it can't be anything that would sound even rational. You know, it would have to sound made up just to try to give it some type of backstory. But I mean, it even saying I feel even weird saying, "Oh, it jumped the fence and it was on the roof and it came this way." Like that is the only thing that sounds logical. But hearing it doesn't even sound logical. Like, what is this thing jumping in the house? So I mean, it's kind of difficult to say.
Yeah, like I'm just like in my mind, like I'm imagining now, like maybe something came down on the roof of your aunt's house, and then somehow maybe it was some malfunction, or who knows, maybe it was some sort of a craft that was there, and that's what she was hearing. Maybe the loud. This is just I'm just throwing this out here. I have no idea. It's pure speculation. But what if it
Yeah,
was some kind of a craft landed on the roof of your aunt's house? That was the loud thump she heard, and then the scratching sounds. Maybe that was the creature that
oh,
eventually ended up somewhere near your house. Maybe
yeah.
that's what happened. I don't know.
Yeah, and then the only reason why she brought it up is probably, I mean, she thought the same thing, and that's the impression obviously I got, by her telling me that, and just the time, for it to be so close, from one to the other, and I mean, like I said, we never have situations or any type of incidents like that here before, so it just makes sense that it's connected because for us to feel afraid, and she felt afraid just a few minutes before, and we never feel that. That's not normal. It has to be connected.
Yeah, yeah. There has to be some. There was most certainly some sort of a connection. I guess. I mean, and how many neighbors did you talk to after this? I mean, maybe because you said like would have been something if they one of their cameras caught something. Maybe we would have something here. We'd be able to
Our
figure
neighbor
it
from
out
across
better.
the street, she has her garage is she has a what am I trying to say? A camera right in the center of her garage, and it's facing the driveway, and her driveway aligns with ours. So anything or anyone that would have passed through our driveway, like to come to the front of the house, would have been visible on her camera. And she showed me her camera. And there's nothing there. Nothing shows, which
Wow.
is kind of like a little weird because why doesn't it show if anything jumped also, but I don't know if the color or I mean,
There's no something there.
yeah,
And I understand that you do have some dogs, and they strangely did not react from what I hear.
I don't know if you heard my dog a few minutes ago because our back neighbor walked in the house and that little dog, I love him with all my heart. He's so annoying. He's so from the moment that they walk through the gate until the moment they walk into their front door, he's like, "Ah," barking at them. And we're like, dude, you see them every day, So he's just all over the place with it. And that night when this happened, I remember even turning and looking at the dogs, and their heads were hanging off of the bed in the room. They're just dead asleep, asleep.
Wow. And that
Mhm.
usually that would never. I mean, the sound of the gate didn't even disturb them.
Yeah, yeah, no, yeah, and any little thing usually like I don't even hear it. Like if they can hear something in the driveway before people even come through the gate, they're already at the door. They're already like barking through the windows. This window here, the dog even he'll jump out of it. Like they're on it. They're always on top of any little noise or anyone coming close to the gate, or they're on top of it all the time. But that time they
Hmm.
were dead asleep. Hmm.
Did they seem like subdued somehow, or were they acting during this whole moment? I mean, you probably weren't thinking about this at the time that much, but I mean, I'm just wondering now, like in retrospect, was it were the dogs acting like subdued, tired, or something, or like in a way that they don't usually act, or was it just normal?
No, I mean, other than the time they're barking, they're pretty lazy. So, I mean, it was normal for them to be asleep, like, any other night.
Yeah, but if somebody else, usually if like if somebody went traipsing in your backyard and opening that gate, that would have got them going. But for some reason,
Yeah,
not this instance.
yeah, and that is another thing that's not normal.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, and how many you talked to some of your neighbors, and what do they think? And what would you show? I'm sure you showed your
I showed
neighbors the
them the
video.
video.
What's some of the comments?
They're just like, "That's crazy! Like, it was in your yard?" I'm like, "Yes." And I'm showing them, comparing, like, this is a porch and this, and they're like, "Oh my god." But they're all elderly, so they're just in shock, kind of. My neighbor from directly next door, she's probably about maybe about 4.5 feet or so, and she's like, "I'm not gonna water my grass anymore," because she usually does it a little late, and then I'm like, "You guys are the same height. You and whatever was on there." I was like, "You guys could probably fight. You guys can defend us." And we're kind of just cracking jokes about it, but no, she's just like, "I'm not going outside at night anymore."
Have any of them stated to you that, oh, yeah, this stuff is real? I hadn't, or did anyone say,
No,
oh, I had something happen to me? Nobody said anything like that. No, no.
not mine. My aunt's neighbor, so the second house. I was showing them the video, and it was a young kid. He's about 16, I think. And he's like, "What?" He's like, "Can you send me this video? I'm gonna show it to my sister." He's like, "She's seen aliens in the backyard when we were little." And I was like, "What are you talking about?" And he said, "Yeah, she used to see aliens. We never believed her, but she used to say she saw aliens in the backyard." I
And
was
just in that area where you live.
2 houses down.
See, something might be going on here. That's what it seems like. Something might be happening here. We just don't realize it a lot of times. They could be all over the place, and we're just not seeing them.
Yeah, and especially you're gonna hear a kid say it. Who's gonna believe a kid?
Well, I mean, sometimes that's the thing. When a young kid says something they saw. Yeah, kids, well, they have imaginations.
Mhm.
But maybe the same instance. I mean, kids don't usually make up stuff like
Yeah.
aliens, in the backyard. That sounds a little bit strange. So maybe something's been going on in that neighborhood all these years, and nobody realizes it.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, I'm not looking for aliens most of the time. I'm pretty sure nobody else is. But if she saw it, I mean, it just kind of that's the one and only other thing that I've heard.
So, was there any like damage or anything? Was anything changed around in the area that where the creature was walking? It looked like it was about 3 feet tall. The thing, from what I
Yeah,
see.
it looked like it was about the size of the hood of my mom's car. She has an Escalade, so it looked like it was about three, no more than 4 feet for sure. Mhm.
And there was nothing like
I'm sorry. Yeah, I mean, we don't have a whole lot of stuff in the backyard. The front porch is the only one that's got kind of crazy with stuff. But other than that, nothing else. I mean, nothing that we've noticed.
So, oh, I guess the one question I do have now, are you more interested in this subject now? Have you been doing some research on it at all, or you just want to forget about it? Like, where are you at this moment?
I mean, now that I've had a few people like reach out to me, so I kind of follow back their pages and stuff. So I see, a lot of the videos that they're posting, and sightings and stuff like that. And I kind of look at them, and a lot of them don't look real. A lot of them kind of look like they have like an explanation. It could be a drone, it could be this, it could be that, and so I don't believe it. So much with other videos. I think also obviously because I know what was caught on ours is it was caught on ours. I also believe the people from Vegas. I know those, for sure. But I think with the other ones, it's kind of, it could be either way. But I mean, I think I just kind of listen a little more now and try to see if there's anything that would kind of resemble anything that showed in the video here. But that's another thing that I've noticed, that the way that this one was shaped, it looks the same as what other people have described. So that also kind of makes
Yes.
it more.
Yes, I mean it does. I mean the creature that we see in this video is just that most certainly it does not look like human. I don't see how, if it could have been. I guess the only explanation could possibly be that another explanation that people have thrown out there is that it could have been someone wearing a costume. I don't even see, you'd have to have someone really small to fit in a costume like that, and especially the way the head is shaped. I don't think that would work for a human.
the neck alone is like, who has a neck like that, you know?
Yeah.
But I know that there's like things that you can do, like with the colors and with the how dark it is outside. And if people get really creative, I'm sure there's a bunch of stuff that you can do. But I mean, that's not something that we did. And in the video, you can see also, and one of the videos I had posted, it showed like my mom getting home like around midnight, and then it'll go right next to the next video, which was that one. It doesn't show a bunch of different videos. I think if someone was to be passing by with, I've seen how they say like, oh, that person has a trash bag, and that noise in the end is that person throwing the bag in the trash. I'm like, that's not even where trash cans go. Like, it doesn't make sense, because I know that that's not. I think that person would have to pass by a few times to make sure they get it just right. And it would show that in the recording, and it didn't have anything. It was just my mom getting home and then directly to the 1 o'clock video. So
Yeah, I actually, I remember when I talked about your incident on my show the first time, there was someone that commented saying that I think it could be a guy carrying a bag of trash, and I went into that video, and I that's not somebody carrying a bag of trash.
yeah,
That's something walking.
yeah, because you can see how like together it looks. It doesn't move. I think if somebody was walking, you would see something that would kind of like, the shape would change or something. But who's going to be walking very still, holding something, that's not moving like that? It for me, it doesn't make any sense. Again, because I also know that the other cameras didn't pick up anyone. I know that the trash isn't there. We have a door in the back that's right next to where the trash is, way in the back. So it doesn't make sense for someone to come out of the house, go all the way around, take the bag to the trash, when there's a door in the back. And also, if that would have happened, the door, when it opens, is when it starts recording. If someone comes out of the house, it would have started recording them from the moment they opened the door. So that's another thing, you know. But for sure, it's not a person. I know in the video also, I've seen where people have commented that there's a person that is visible right before the planter, like right in the beginning of the video. They said that there's a face that's visible, right when it starts to pass by the, well, where you can see it, but at the very top you can see a head.
Right here. This is the beginning of the video. I don't see anything. I looked at this video, and I don't see it.
Yeah, I haven't seen it the way that they. Well, I see like a little spot, but at the same time, I mean that could be anything.
Yeah.
I don't see that it goes with the. If it, I think if it would have been a person at the very, very, very end, right over the candle holder at the bottom, if that was a person, that part would have also been blocked by the person wearing black or whatever it is that they're saying. It would have shown up in that part, because there is a little gap between the wall and the plant. So I mean, and that doesn't show like anyone moves or anything passes by there. So to me, that explanation doesn't make any sense. But I see what people are saying. I will give them that. If I didn't know the layout of my house and that there's no one that has access, I would probably believe it. But I know that that's not what it is.
And I guess, well, getting back to what you said earlier about the objects sometimes moving that you had move by themselves in your house. Now, looking back at that, and now this incident, do you think there's a connection now, or is that something separate?
No, I mean, I could lean towards it being connected, because I mean, it's just something else that's unexplained. It's happened, in this house, and it's close to where my room is. So, I mean, I think that it could be connected.
Yeah. And I guess, does that concern you? I mean, do you think that do you feel that this is a threat, or is it just, what do you think?
That's the one thing that's why I guess when I was saying that, I just kind of like kept doing my hair. I don't feel like it's anything negative. I haven't felt afraid when I felt, just this one time, because I actually saw it and I saw the shape of it. But I mean, other than that, when the frame flew, I mean, of course it's crazy, and it's, not normal. But I don't feel like it was anything trying to hurt me. I feel like it was something trying to get my attention. So I feel like if I kind of overreact to it, then, you know I might make it a negative thing. But I don't think it was any. If something was to hurt me or want to hurt me, I think it would have happened already. Just like whatever it was that showed on the video, I didn't feel afraid. I mean, I didn't feel like it threatened me or it did anything to intimidate us. It just passed by. We saw it and we felt the fear, obviously, because we know it's not something normal. but it's not anything that it disturbed us or was here to cause any harm, at least.
Maybe what's happening here, like, because just in my previous podcast, I was talking about of other backyard alien incidents. You know, there was two of them that I was talking about in the previous podcast. One in 2013 in Florida, the of course the Vegas case, which I talk about a lot because I
Mm,
think that one provides the best evidence. And
yeah.
now today we're talking about another backyard incident on your property, and it just seems like maybe they're just maybe what's going on here. I just wonder maybe they're this is the way to let us know that they're here. Maybe this is a way to disclose the reality that hey, guess what, guys, you're not alone. Maybe that's what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, they can't cover up all of their tracks somehow. They're gonna slip up somehow, some way. I'm sure they're not perfect either, so they're gonna make a mistake somewhere. So I mean, that's probably what it is. They're just.
Maybe
I mean,
mistakes. Yeah, mistakes. They're,
so one of the things that a lot of people mention is how the camera gets very blurry the moment that it passes by. It's very clear before and it's very clear after, but the moment it passes by, it gets like very blurry. So I mean, that's also something that they could do. We've all always said, well, I know I've always heard how people say, what a coincidence that when something is being recorded, they have the worst quality camera, and it's just like it's now it's more like it's not the worst quality. They're probably just doing something to manipulate, how visible it is or whatever the case may be, but it's obviously not the camera.
yeah, obviously it's not. I mean, this is again, we were I was just talking in the previous show about the in the Vegas incident from 2023 that they captured stuff on that cell phone, but it's it was hard. Obviously something was going on to prevent them from being filmed properly, but we got enough of it, and I think we have enough on your video now of this Compton creature, whatever it is, this being. It doesn't look like it's human. It looks like some sort of a 3 foot tall alien creature, and we have it on video now thanks to you, and I'm glad that you shared this. I mean, because I'm not sure if a lot of people would have shared this with the world.
I shared it. I think it was probably an hour after it happened because I was sitting in my son's room. My son and I were just kind of looking at each other like, "What the heck do we do?" You know. And I couldn't. I was just like, I'm just gonna post it and see what other people suggest. I didn't even say like, "Oh, this is an alien" or anything like that. I kind of just left it open, and for the same reason because I didn't want to like um the people to say, "Oh, that's not true, it's fake," or that I'm claiming something that I don't even know myself. So I kind of asked, like, what do you guys think this is? I never thought it was going to go past my friends and family, So, and another thing, my family's, we're all bullies. We'll make fun of each other so much. So if I would have put an alien, they probably would have nicknamed me Alien Girl for like the rest of my life. But, so I just kind of left it open for them to make suggestions. And that's kind of, what I guess people have been doing, just kind of making suggestions. But yeah, I did it right away for sure. Just and I posted the whole entire video. There was a second one that I posted where I'm slowing it down because even me, I was like, "What the heck is this?" And so I posted the other one where it slows down, but and just so everything is visible and they can see the whole thing from beginning to end. Exactly what I had is exactly what I showed, just to make sure that
Yeah.
it's real. What I posted was real.
Maybe what's happening is this too. Like I think about this sometimes. I mean, our technology keeps advancing and advancing all the time. A lot of people have ring cameras like you, and it's only a matter of time before the technology that we've developed starts, here and there capturing these things. And that's another thing that be happening here. It's going eventually it's going to happen because there's just so many cameras pointing in so many different directions that it's going to be impossible for these beings to completely. Obviously, they seem like they have the ability to be invisible at some points somehow. That's what it seems like. But in this case, something got through the cracks here. That's what it seems like to me.
Yeah. I got lazy for a second there. I probably didn't catch it. But I mean, maybe who knows, what it is, but for sure it caught it in whatever it was, it didn't catch it in the first one or the second or the third one, so just the fact that it's in the middle, it's even more, of a mystery and why it only got caught in that area. But I think, my son was like, "Are we gonna go outside and check?" I'm like, "No, we're not gonna go outside and check." Um, I can live with the doubt. I can for sure live with the doubt. I want to survive. We're staying in the house, you know, and that's what we did. We stayed in. You know, I wasn't gonna go confirm what it is and or have anybody come out here and look either. You know.
Were there any footprints or anything anywhere that were left behind that anyone saw?
No, I mean, there's nothing that would show any type of trace that it would have left behind or anything. Not on the roof of the house. Not by the gate or by the driveway. Like nothing. It's
Okay.
just that image that in the video. That's all there is.
So if something like this happens again and you capture something on video, if your ring camera captures something, are you going to let the world know again?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, yeah. Someone asked me if what if you're outside and you see it? I was like, I'm gonna pretend I'm Ray Charles. I don't see anything. I'm gonna just keep walking because I mean I'm not no, but yeah, yeah, of course I'll post right away.
And yeah, really quick, I just want to point out that Scott Roeder, the crime scene reconstruction expert who has authenticated this video, has recently uploaded a new podcast where he provides his analysis of this incident. So you could check that out. He has a very interesting 3D modeling that he has created for that recreates what this creature might have looked like. So I encourage those who haven't seen this show recently from Scott Roeder to check this out. I will leave the links for both the Spotify version as well as the YouTube version in the description for this podcast.
Yeah.
Well, Jessica Ortiz, I want to say thank you so much for coming on the show today. It's been a great pleasure talking to you, and I really appreciate you sharing your experience and the video and talking about it today. It's wonderful to have this on the record, and so for people, a lot of people out there are very interested in hearing this story, and I'm sure they're going to be thrilled to hear what you had to say today. So I really appreciate you coming on.
No, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
All right, I want to say this. I want to say thank you all for joining us today. Until next time.